This video documents the first part of our first ever attempt to grow mushrooms, and we're diving right in at the deep end trying to propagate some mycelium from store-bought mushrooms. The video is meant only to be documenting our attempt and isn't meant to be instructional. We're using the method documented in the Mirardus Biologicus video linked in the description, and I strongly recommend you use that excellent video as a guide should you wish to try this yourself. We're going to try and do a thing. I've had a bit of an interest in growing mushrooms for a while. Technically for years. Some years ago we bought some, sort of mushroom seed at the Edinburgh Botanic Gardens. And then we never used it. It's been kicking around for ages. And despite knowing it's probably not going to be any use, we did try putting it in some coffee grounds recently, and pretty much nothing happened. So I've been watching YouTube and looking at sort of sites where you can buy mushroom spawn. But then I saw this video from a channel called, I believe it was Mirardus Biologicus. And they were taking mycelial material from shop-bought mushrooms and growing it on in cooked corn. And I'm going to give that a go. I'm not going to do anything new here that isn't in that video, which I shall link below and link up here somewhere on the screen. And I'm going to try following that process and see if I can do it. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what happens. So we start by getting this corn cooked, and then we will do the rest of the job tomorrow. So that's the corn simmered and set aside with a towel over it to try and keep any beasties out. It does get that second pasteurization as per the video instructions. And this is our two little pots of exotic mixed mushrooms from Tesco. What we've done is we've separated out the shiitake, which we're going to use for a different sort of meal, like a ramen or noodles or something, or a hot pot maybe. This is all the more oystery style mushrooms, which we're making a risotto out of tonight. And then here we've kept some stems, which hopefully we can extract some core material out of the pink ones, the yellowish ones, and the darker grey ones. We'll see how that goes. They'll get wrapped up and popped in the fridge now. Okay, it's about 24 hours later. That has been set on the stove under that tea towel, and apparently this weight gives it the opportunity for anything that may not have been killed to go, oh, hooray, I can grow. And sort of, I don't know what happens. I'm not a biologist, but I assume that they may decyst themselves or something and become vulnerable. So what we do next is we put it into jars, and this equipment here has all been sprayed with a 75% isopropyl solution and left to sit for a little while. So hopefully that's all sterile enough. That's dinner being made in the background. So I'm going to fill each of these jars, and I'm going to half fill each of these jars, and then wedge a bit of cotton wool into those holes and get it simmering into a bowl to sterilize a second time, as per the video. So that's the jars filled. I had to sort out a seventh one quickly. In case you're wondering what this is all about, that's what I use as a funnel. And now this is the second heat sterilization, where we have it in a pot of water simmering, just sort of up to the about 2/3 or maybe 3/4 of the way up the jars, and on a tea towel with some cardboard separating. This is kind of how I sterilize preserves when I make preserves, so I'm familiar with doing this. And thankfully 7 jars fit into this stock pot we have just perfectly. So that's good. So we're just going to let that get up to a steady simmering point, pop the lid on it, and keep an eye on that for a while to sterilize, again as per the video. Okay, we're going to try making some mushroom mycelium, or at least propagating some. Here's some mushroom parts I reserved the other day, and we're going to extract what we can from these ones. We're following the process as seen in the Omeratus Biologicus video, which is actually just in front of me on a screen there, which you can't see. And what we're going to try and do is extract something from the center of these bits of mushroom stem here, which are left over from our So what we want is that clean internal there. Try and extract some of that. So I've got 3 types of mushroom over there. They're all oyster style mushrooms. From a pack of exotic mushrooms from Tesco. We had the risotto on Monday. Nope, my fire has just run out. Have to restart that in a moment. So we're going to try and, that should be nice and sterile in there. I've used liberal amounts of 75% isopropyl everywhere. So I get that open for as little time as possible and get a little bit of that mushroom in there. Same with this one. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to do 2 of each, just using the central, hopefully clean material. It's not really a clean room situation then. Okay. So those 2 at the back are the, I think it was a grey type of oyster mushroom. Put that over there. Get our fire back on, eh? I'm sure this thing used to burn for longer. I'm putting a bit more into that, eh? Okay. Next 2. I actually ended up with 7 rather than the initially planned 6 of these little boiled corn jars. Give everything a bit of a spray with the old isopropyl, including me again. So that was a grey style mushroom, oyster, and this is a yellowish one. Hopefully this isn't strong enough isopropyl to cause me to have a massive fire in my face. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Okay. And what I'm deliberately doing is I'm taking the mycelial material from 2 different samples just to increase our chances of some sort of success. That'll be the doorbell. That'll be our dinner arriving. Had a bit of a day today. We've had a bit of a sewage problem. So I lost a lot of my day to jetting out sewer drains, which is why we opted to have a takeaway. Because after 4 hours of jetting out sewage, I did not want to be cooking dinner. Nice bit of central material there. Get him down into that corner. It's taken a bit longer than I would like. Get a bit more of that. Bit worried about how long that took, really. So I'm going to try and be a little speedier with the next one. I'm actually going to take a sample from this as well. Now, the problem with my pointy little tweezers is that they are getting stuck in the material. So I'm having trouble getting material off. Okay, now the last one is the most impressive looking because we have some pink material. Yeah. The pink mushrooms in the pack were a lot smaller than the other ones, so I've only got quite small samples for these two. Ah, that's right, I forgot we've got 3 jars, so I'll do another one in a moment. Extra bit of that yellow mushroom material. Oh! Straight into the fingertip with the scalpel, as we do. Tell you what, the guy in the video makes this look a lot easier. My mycelium does not want to stay put. Okay, let's try that. And that goes with those 3 there. Okay, we're done. They're all sealed up. Now they'll go somewhere dark and warm and are barely even bleeding, so that's good. Okay, right. So that's them all done and labelled. And we're going to pop them in this little kind of desk bureau thing we've got because it says to keep them somewhere warm and dark, and this is the warmest room in the house. So they're going to live in there. Grow, little mushies, grow. We'll see what happens. We shall film the next part in this series when something can be recorded having happened in these jars. We have no idea if this will be a success. The next video may well be a back to the drawing board. I have a handful of definite concerns about our attempt, namely, A, I'm not sure the 20-minute simmer adequately rehydrated the popcorn. B, the mushroom material was maybe a bit old. I don't know how long it remains viable for. We bought the mushrooms in Tesco on Monday and used the material on Wednesday. And C, I'm a little concerned I overdid it with the isopropyl at several points and it may have soaked into the material used. So anyway, that is what it is. We can but monitor these and see what we end up with, and however it goes, we'll document this in a part 2 video.